Chapter 390. Shengshi Entertainment. In the hall downstairs, Su Yimo was wearing a long white dress with a stain on it. Her face was full of disgust and displeasure. At that moment, an ordinary-looking and well-dressed woman next to her was yelling at an older female artist in a shrill voice. "Bai Lu, do you know how to do things? You dirted Sister Yimo's clothes just by sprinkling water on the floor. Do you know how much this dress costs?" Su Yimo's manager, Zhao Meixin, crossed her arms and snorted. "Huh, money? It's the latest limited edition of Chanel's latest season. It hasn't even been released to the public yet. Because our Yimo gang signed a contract to be their spokesperson, we got this dress. Is this something that can be bought with money?" The female artist named Bai Lu's face was pale as she kept apologizing. I'm sorry. Sister Yimo. Sister Meixin. Sister Bichin. I know I was wrong. It's all my fault. Otherwise, Sister Yimo, take it off later and I'll wash it for you. I'll make sure it's so clean that no one can tell." The female artist who spoke was 30 years old and had been in the industry for 10 years. She was older than Su Yimo, Zhao Meixin, and Liang Bichin. However, she probably didn't have the fate of being popular. She hadn't been popular in the past few years and could only play minor roles in recent years. In a place like the entertainment industry, it didn't matter how long you stayed, but how popular you were. Therefore, even if you entered the industry early, you still had to call her sister in front of these people. Originally, for a small character like her, people didn't even bother to make things difficult for her. The bad thing was that some time ago, she somehow got lucky and was chosen by a director to act as the second female lead. In the end, Liang Bichin also took a fancy to this role. Liang Bichin was Su Yimo's cousin and used Su Yimo's power to do whatever she wanted in the company. This time, a minor role was taken by Bai Lu. How could she not punish her? At that moment, there were already many people in the hall who didn't know that Liang Bichin was purposely looking for trouble. However, not a single person dared to stand out. No one dared to say a single word. Instead, there were many who followed the wind and echoed Liang Bichin, cursing White Dew. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that Shengshi Entertainment was Su Yimo's world. If you offended her and her henchmen, you wouldn't be able to survive in the entertainment industry anymore. Looking at the cold and numb eyes of the surrounding people, Bai Lu could only coldly pick up the stained skirt and continue to plead. "This little stain, I promise I can really wash it off." Liang Bichin crossed her arms and unceremoniously kicked Bai Lu. "Take off your dirty hands. Wash? Are you kidding me? How are you going to wash them? Do you wash it by hand? How can I still want such expensive clothes after they were washed by your rough hands?" After cursing, Liang Bichin rolled her eyes, held Su Yimo's hand, and said coquettishly, "Cousin, this woman has been in our company for 10 years, but she's still a walk-on. She's so clumsy when we ask her to do some small things. It's a waste of the company's resources to keep this kind of person in the company. Just let her go." Liang Bichin's words made it seem like she was treating Su Yimo as the mistress of the company. However, Su Yimo obviously fell for it. Her expression immediately became much better, and she began to seriously consider it. Chapter 391. After all, in this company, no one dared to not give her face. It was too easy to chase someone away. She could just call Bai Lu's manager. Bai Lu became even more anxious. She knelt down with a thud and grabbed Su Yimo's clothes tightly as she pleaded, "Sister Yimo, I beg you, don't chase me away. As long as you don't chase me away, I'll do anything you want. I beg you. I beg you." Just as White Dew was begging incessantly, a pink figure ran in from the direction of the door. Because Bai Lu was kneeling in the middle of the road, Ningxi couldn't avoid her and accidentally bumped into her. "Ah!" Bai Lu's body tilted and she exclaimed. Su Yimo's clothes, which she was holding, were accidentally pulled by her. Bai Lu was so scared that her face turned pale. She couldn't care less about being hit. The first thing she did when she got up was to check her clothes, afraid that she had accidentally torn them. At this moment, Liang Bichin reached out and picked up the hem of her dress. After scanning the torn part, she turned to Ningxi and scolded. "Don't you have eyes? Do you know how to walk? Where do you think you are? Where do you think you can run around unruly? Do you know how much trouble you've caused? What did you break? You can't even pay for this dress if you sell yourself. Ningxi's appearance made the onlookers who were focused on Bai Lu's incident even more excited. Hey, isn't that Ningxi? She's dressed so pink today. It's not her style at all. I almost didn't recognize her. TSK, there's going to be a good show. I heard that the company is grooming her to be Lung Manyun's successor. She's been in the limelight recently. What do you think will happen when the two of them fight? Do you even need to ask? No matter how much Ningxi is in the limelight, can she beat Su Yimo? She's like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Sorry, I bumped into you. Are you okay? On the other side, Ningxi was apologizing to Bai Lu when she was suddenly scolded by Liang Biqin. Her eyebrows slightly wrinkled as she listened to the surrounding discussions and looked at the stained skirt in Bai Lu's hands. She roughly understood the current situation. Originally, it was Bai Lu who had accidentally dirted Su Yimo's clothes. Now it seemed that Hua Mian accidentally bumped into Bai Lu and caused her to tear Su Yimo's clothes. At this time, Liang Biqin, who didn't recognize Ningxi at first, knew who Ningxi was after Zhao Meixin reminded her. Liang Biqin took a careful look at Ningxi's pink princess dress and the diamond hair clip on her head. She was amused. She is Ningxi? I thought he would be someone incredible, but he's just this kind of trash? No wonder my cousin doesn't put her in her eyes at all. No wonder. As for Su Yimo, she didn't even look at Ningxi as usual. No matter how Ningxi jumped around in her eyes, he was just a ridiculous ant that could be pinched to death with one finger. It was ridiculous that those people still dared to compare this kind of person with her. Now that she knew this woman was Ningxi, Liang Biqin wouldn't let her go. She could deal with the two of them together. Thus, she immediately said to the two of them sternly, Bai Lu, and you Ningxi, right? Don't say that I'm purposely making things difficult for you. Everyone saw that the clothes have been torn by the two of you. Do you want to wash them and be done with it? Chapter 392. Bai Lu's hands kept trembling, and she looked at Su Yimo in horror. I was careless. Sister Yimo, it's all my fault. Please tell me what to do. As long as I can do it, I'll definitely do it. Su Yimo naturally couldn't be bothered to talk to someone of her level. She only glanced at the manager next to her. Thus, Zhao Meixin stepped forward and casually pulled at the hem of the dress to check it. She said in an exaggerated tone, "The tear is so big, the dress is definitely ruined. How about this? As long as the two of you pay for one of the original pieces, this matter will be settled." Liang Biqin looked smug when she heard this. She pretended to be generous and said, "You two heard it. 1-to-1. That's not too much to ask, right?" Bai Lu's lips trembled, and 2 streams of tears flowed down her cheeks. Liang Biqin knew that even if she added up all her savings, she wouldn't be able to afford such a high-end dress. And Ningxi was just a newcomer. She hadn't even started making money yet, and even if she did, most of it would belong to the company. How could she afford to pay for it? At this moment, Ningxi walked over to Su Yimo, picked up the gorgeous hem of the dress, and took a closer look. She saw that apart from the obvious stain on the dress, Bai Lu's tug just now didn't cause much damage. There was almost no trace of damage to the naked eye, and it didn't even need to be mended. Thus, Ningxi muttered, "Let's not talk about the stain first. This mark is almost invisible, so it shouldn't have any effect." Liang Biqin was immediately displeased when she heard this. She sharply interrupted her. "What do you mean? Do you think I'd trick you too? Such a high-end dress, even the slightest flaw is equivalent to ruining the dress, not to mention such a large area of silk. Where did you come from? If you don't know anything, don't embarrass yourself here." Zhao Meixin glanced at the bored Su Yimo and sneered. I'm afraid you're just trying to escape responsibility. Unfortunately, so many people were watching. If she hadn't suddenly run over like a lunatic and bumped into someone, would the dress have been ruined? Now you're trying to make a false accusation? After Zhao Meixin finished speaking, she casually glanced at some of the onlookers. Then someone immediately followed up and said, "That's right. Sister Mei Xian's suggestion is not excessive. You have to compensate for ruining someone's clothes. It's only right and proper. I just wanted her to pay for one of them, yet she still made excuses. He really didn't know what was good for him. What kind of person was this? His character is too bad. Sister Mo's clothes were ruined as soon as she got them. What a terrible thing. She's so good-tempered that she hasn't been angry. Someone took the opportunity to suck up to him. Isn't that right? This is Chanel's latest limited edition, and it hasn't even been released yet. My heart aches just by looking at it. Speaking of which, these clothes aren't on the market yet. Even if they have the money, I'm afraid they won't be able to buy them, right? The man didn't mean it, but when he said it, not only did he fail to flatter Su Yimo, he even made it sound like Su Yimo was deliberately making things difficult for him. As expected, Su Yimo's expression changed. After realizing that he had said the wrong thing, the person was scared to death. He quickly tried to salvage the situation. Sister Mo, you're lowering your standards by arguing with this kind of person. Look at them, you know that they won't be able to pay for it. Since the clothes aren't on the market yet, why don't we just let them pay for something of a similar grade? Chapter 393. Someone on the side tactfully gave Su Yimo a way out. That won't do. Yimo's is a limited edition dress. If you don't get one, you'll lose one. Hearing this, Su Yimo's face softened a little. She said impatiently, fine, it's not impossible to get one of the same grade. Liang Biqin immediately jumped out and said indignantly, cousin, you're too kind. This will only make some despicable people more arrogant. When the people around heard this, they all chimed in. What are you two waiting for? Come over and thank Sister Yimo. You're so lucky. Sister Yimo is so kind that she didn't make things difficult for you. Bai Lu knelt on the ground with a dazed expression and couldn't say a word. Clothes of the same grade? They were all the same to her. She couldn't afford it. Was she going to be kicked out of the company today? Although she had prepared for the worst, she still couldn't accept it when it really happened. She had persevered for a whole 10 years and was about to get better. But it was all over because she dirtied a dress. Seeing Bai Lu's gloomy expression, the onlookers all looked distressed and made up their minds to provoke anyone but Su Yimo. As for Ningxi, she probably wouldn't have a good ending today. Everyone knew that Ningxi had been oppressed by Starlight Entertainment and didn't have much money on hand. As for now, although she had signed a contract with Shengshi, she hadn't signed a new show yet. Instead, she had signed a small game endorsement. She didn't know if she had paid the endorsement fee, but even if she did, it would only buy a corner of her dress at this moment. Ningxi was squinting her eyes, not knowing what to think. Hearing the surrounding urging and Bai Lu's sobbing, her eyes flashed with a trace of light, and then she said, "You want to compensate me with a dress of the same grade? Wait for me for a few minutes. I'll go home and get it." Fortunately, the apartment was close to the company. As soon as he said that, everyone looked at each other in dismay. That's easy for you to say. Go home and get it. Would Ningxi have a dress of this grade? If she does, I'll cut off my head and let you sit on it. Are you kidding me? For someone like her who loved to show off, if she really had one, she would have worn it out to show off. How could she not have worn it even once? He definitely wanted to save face and put on a brave front. He's stalling for time. No matter how long you delay, you can't just make one out of thin air, right? What did he mean by being on the same level? It had to be about the same in all aspects. What was Emo's grade? Not to mention that it's not even on the market yet. Even if it's on the market, there won't be more than 10 pieces of it in the world. Liang Biqin sneered. Haha, alright, we'll wait. But don't go and never come back. If you don't come back, cousin sister won't chase you to the ends of the earth for such a small matter. At that time, only Bai Lu will have to pay for it. These words were clearly meant to label Ningxi as a shameless villain. As long as she dared not to come back, she would definitely have to bear this title. If she came back and returned empty-handed, it would be even more embarrassing. As for whether Ningxi would get the clothes, she wasn't worried at all. In such a short period of time, even if she went to find someone to ask for help, it would be too late. Which top-notch brand didn't require a long time in advance to buy? Chapter 394. Ningxi glanced at Liang Biqin and the others with a faint smile. She didn't talk much with them and ran straight out of the company. Not long after Ningxi left, Zhao Anqin suddenly remembered that there seemed to be a lot of GE clothes in Ningxi's apartment. Could it be that Ningxi took that? But then she thought that it was impossible. That was the company's stuff. What right did she have to compensate others with the company's stuff? If Ningxi really took it, she would definitely humiliate her. Not only that, she would also take the opportunity to complain about her. But it was a pity that Ningxi was able to join Golden Era from the bottom of Starlight. She must be a scheming person and not that stupid. Otherwise, it would be fun to play with her. Time ticked by. Everyone was looking outside, and Bailu's eyes never left the door. After all, she was at her wit's end and Ningxi was her only hope. Tisk, Bailu, you're still looking. Don't tell me you really believe that she'll come back? Liang Biqin looked at Bailu's pitiful expression and didn't forget to add insult to injury. This is what you get for snatching a role from me. Let's see who dares to go against me in the future. Bailu's face darkened. She didn't say a word. In fact, she knew that her chances were slim. Everyone has seen it. We've given you a chance and lowered the standard again and again. If you still can't pay us back, you can't blame us. Liang Biqin paused and changed the subject. If you want to blame someone, blame Ningxi. If it wasn't for her, would the clothes have been ruined? Zhao Meixin also put on a regretful expression. It's just a little dirty, it's not a big deal. I can just wash it. Who knew, sigh? Bailu naturally knew that Liang Biqin and Zhao Meixin were trying to sow discord. She pursed her lips and didn't say anything. Actually, she didn't blame Ningxi. She only blamed herself for being unlucky. She hadn't been popular for 10 years. She finally got the role of the second female lead, but she fell straight into the abyss. How could she not be unlucky? After waiting for a while, Su Yimo's expression gradually became impatient. Liang Biqin saw Su Yimo's expression and immediately said angrily, "Didn't you say it'll only take a few minutes? Why aren't they here yet?" Zhao Anqin was also displeased. "You've gone too far. If you can't pay, just say so. You've made us wait for so long. Does she know how precious our time is?" The others around him nodded. "We knew she couldn't take it out. We shouldn't have waited in vain. It doesn't matter to us. Sister Yimo is so shameless to make her wait like this. This person is too shameless. In my opinion, Sister Yimo, if she really dares to run away, don't let her off so easily. That's right. Otherwise, it would be too easy on her." For a moment, those who saw the wind and sailed their sails all attacked Ningxi together. Seeing that the situation was set, the last hope in Bailu's eyes was finally extinguished. How unreconciled. However, no matter how unwilling he was, what could he do? At this moment, a clear and melodious voice suddenly came from the gate. "I'm back." The girl was still dressed in pink. She was panting slightly as she stood against the light. Ningxi. Interesting. She really dared to come back. She seems to be holding something in her hand. Could it be clothes? Chapter 395. Ningxi was indeed holding something in her hand. It was a plastic bag used in supermarkets, and it was filled with an unknown gray substance. As Ningxi walked closer, the crowd could see the plastic bag in her hand. In an instant, the crowd burst into laughter. "Oh my, this is hilarious. What's that in Ningxi's hand? Did she go to the supermarket to buy one? Ha 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 ha. Oh my god. No way. I'm speechless. What kind of IQ does she have?" Zhao Anqin looked at the wrinkled plastic bag in Ningxi's hand, and the gray fabric in the bag, and came to a conclusion. Ningxi was at her wit's end, and she even resorted to such a lousy trick. "Heh, Ningxi, even if you can't take it out, you can't just buy one to fool people, can you? Do you think we're all blind?" Zhao Anqin emphasized the last sentence. Liang Biqin burst into laughter. "I'm starting to doubt her IQ when I saw her stupid outfit today, but I didn't expect her to be retarded. How did someone like her come to Golden Era? She's in her own company, and if she were to go out, she'd be a disgrace to the company." Ningxi slowly took out a gray shirt from the plastic bag, and said slowly, "Oh, so something that's in a supermarket's plastic bag must have been bought from the supermarket. That's a smart logic." "You." Liang Biqin's face darkened as she laughed, and then she gritted her teeth. "You're just a country bumpkin. You really don't understand. I'll teach you today. Even the packaging is enough to buy a whole set of your clothes. If you didn't buy it from the supermarket, then where did you buy it from? Who would use a bag like that to store expensive clothes? Ningxi blinked and said matter-of-factly, Me? Is there a problem? Who said that I can't pretend to be like this? You're still so stubborn. I think you won't give up until you see your own coffin. No one in this company dared to argue with her. How could Liang Biqin tolerate being choked twice? She immediately glared at the crowd. Someone in the crowd caught Liang Biqin's gaze and immediately ran over, snatched the clothes from Ningxi's hands, and then exclaimed in an exaggerated manner, What color is this? Like dog's hit. So old-fashioned. Such vulgar clothes. Who gave you the courage to take it out? TSK, this soft texture is even worse than a rag. Even if you want to make up the numbers, you should at least show some sincerity. We have so many people here. Do you think we are all blind? It doesn't matter if you think we're blind. Do you think Sister Yimo is blind? Ningxi looked coldly at those people who were passing the gray clothes around. A cold light flashed across her eyes. Be careful. If you break it, we can't afford to pay for it. As soon as he finished speaking, an even louder roar of laughter erupted from the crowd. Ha 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 ha. She's really putting on an act. In the past, when people said that her acting skills were good, I didn't believe them. Now I finally believe it. His acting skills are worthy of an Oscar. At this moment, Bai Lu quietly moved to Ningxi's side. Her lips trembled as she whispered, Ningxi, forget it. They all know what they're doing, you can't fool them. Chapter 396. They all know the ropes. Are you sure? Ningxi raised an eyebrow and asked. Perhaps it was because Ningxi's acting skills were too good, but a few of them felt a little scared when they saw how confident Ningxi was. One of the female artists who was holding the clothes unconsciously loosened her grip and mumbled, Even if I could see through this lousy dress, I wouldn't be able to tell what's so special about it. Where does she get her confidence from? What are you looking at? She must be lying. Even if we're wrong, can Sister Meishin and Sister Yimo be wrong? That's right. I was almost tricked by her. The female artist said. She saw a trash can next to her, sneered, and was about to throw it in. But before she threw the clothes, Ningxi suddenly looked at her coldly. She was so scared that she shivered and stopped what she was doing. The female artist bit her lip and looked down at the clothes again. This tattered cloth. Are you addicted to looking at it? Someone next to her said, and was about to grab the clothes in her hands. The female artist was checking the collar of the clothes. She didn't know what she saw, but her face turned pale and she looked extremely panicked. Don't move. Be careful. What are you doing? Why are you so nervous? The female artist looked down again and swallowed. She stuffed the clothes into the hands of the person next to her and said in a low voice, This looks like GE clothes. What GE? It's Sister Yimo's favorite brand. Many of the people present were Su Yimo's flatterers, so they knew what she liked very well. When the person next to her heard this, his face immediately turned green. He was so agitated that he unconsciously raised his voice. What? This is Sister Yimo's favorite brand. Gee. As soon as he said that, the noisy crowd instantly fell silent. The person next to her also saw the small logo on the clothes and immediately stuffed the clothes back to her in horror. Then why did you give it to me? She didn't know if it had been passed around by those people just now. If it really was damaged, who would be responsible for it? The female artist hugged the thin piece of fabric, as if she was hugging a hot potato. She looked toward Su Yimo with an expression as if she was about to cry. Sister Yimo, this dress. Su Yimo frowned and glanced at Zhaoanxin. What's going on? Zhaoanxin saw that something was wrong, so she quickly walked over and picked up the clothes. Sister Meishin, these clothes seem to be from GE. What nonsense are you talking about? Are your dog eyes blind? GE's clothes are famous for their extravagance. Where is this rag? Before she could finish, Zhaoanxin had already seen the low-key yet luxurious logo embroidered with gold thread on the collar. This is impossible. Liang Biqin also hurriedly came over and looked at the logo. I'm afraid it's fake, right? A replica? Ningxi was too bold. They dared to imitate any brand. Even if it's an imitation, it should at least be more realistic. No matter how I look at it, it can't be Sister Mo's favorite brand, right? Zhao Meixin pinched her eyebrows and walked to Su Yimo's side. Yimo, look, this dress. Su Yimo casually picked it up with one finger, and in the next second, her expression changed. This very inconspicuous piece of clothing, it really was Ji's style. Chapter 397. Moreover, it wasn't just Ji's style. It was also one of the most unique pieces. It was also the only pajamas, so its style was different from the others. The fabric was soft and thin for comfort. It was actually made of a rare and precious type of silk that was difficult to breed. Su Yimo looked at it carefully again. Luckily, the material was sturdy and the clothes weren't damaged. She let out a sigh of relief. Although she liked this brand of clothes, the clothes in her hands belonged to that bitch, Ningxi. Realizing that she was relieved because of Ningxi's clothes, Su Yimo felt even more humiliated. She threw the clothes at Zhao Meixin. When Zhao Meixin saw the look on Su Yimo's face, she knew she was right. The clothes really did belong to Ji. When the onlookers saw Zhao Meixin's and Su Yimo's expressions, they realized that something was wrong. It's over. It can't really be Ji's, right? I pulled it hard just now. Will I have to pay for it if I break it? I thought Ningxi was lying. What the hell? Where did Ningxi get this kind of clothes? I suddenly remembered something. Before this, there was a rumor that... Hearing the whispers around her, Su Yimo remembered what Zhao Anxin had told her. She said that Ningxi's apartment had a closet full of clothes from this brand. Therefore, she was sure that the clothes were real. Su Yimo glared at Zhao Meixin. How could she forget something like that? Zhao Anxin wiped her sweat and said in a low voice, Yimo, I actually thought of this before, but I didn't expect her to be so bold, to use the company's clothes to pay for it. I don't need to know the reason. You solved this for me. Su Yimo threw the clothes at Zhao Meixin unhappily. Damn it, she made people think that she was blind, in front of so many people. She couldn't even recognize Ji's clothes. Zhao Meixin nodded. Yes. I'll solve it. Yimo, don't worry. You don't need to do anything, just wait and see. I'll teach her a lesson. With that, Zhao Meixin glared at Ningxi and scolded. Ningxi, how dare you? How dare you steal the company's property? Ningxi raised her eyebrows. Oh, I've embezzled the company's property. How do you explain this? Zhao Meixin laughed coldly and said confidently. Do you think we don't know? You do have a lot of GE clothes in your apartment, but they all belong to the company. Your place is just a company warehouse. Are you so naive to think that these clothes belong to you just because you have them? Can you just give it away? Liang Biqin sneered. See, I told you she's an idiot. I told her there was something wrong with her brain, but she insisted on arguing with me. When the people around them heard this, they all revealed expressions of sudden realization. So that's how it is. Ningxi is really bold. Using the company's things to show off. Not bad. He must have gone crazy from wanting to be in the limelight. Bai Lu was already trembling in fear. She couldn't help casting a worried look at Ningxi. Oh no, things were getting out of hand. It was just a matter of clothes. At most, she would be kicked out of the company, but now it was about stealing the company's property. She might even have to go to jail. Chapter 398. Ningxi gave Bai Lu a comforting look. Then she waited for the surrounding discussions to die down before she said, Senior Su, Sister Mei Xan, regardless of whether this piece of clothing is the company's property, and regardless of whether I have a problem with my brain, I have already taken out a piece of clothing of the same grade according to your request. You only need to fulfill your promise, and this matter will be over. As for everything that happens next, all the responsibility is mine. I will bear it alone. It has nothing to do with you. Su Yimo's eyes immediately turned cold. Zhao Meixin wanted to refute, but she couldn't find any words to refute. Her face froze. Liang Biqin said angrily, Nonsense. It's ridiculous. Ningxi shrugged. There were so many witnesses just now. You said it yourself. I didn't say a word. After saying that, he paused for a moment, then dragged his voice and continued. Or those words only counted for the last second, and don't count for the next second? Of course, if that's the case, as a newbie, I have nothing to say. Provoked by Ningxi's words, Zhao Meixin and Su Yimo looked at each other and then said, We Yimo will keep our word. Ningxi, since you want to die, don't blame us. Zhao Meixin glanced at Bai Lu casually. Since you two have taken out clothes of the same grade as we requested, then this matter ends here. Zhao Meixin's tone was obviously a little guilty when she said it was of the same grade. After all, anyone with a discerning eye would know that even if it was just a set of pajamas, the quality of the clothes Ningxi brought was several levels higher than the one Su Yimo was wearing. Hearing this, Bai Lu didn't feel relieved at all. Instead, she looked at Ningxi anxiously. Although she would be fine now, Ningxi would be in trouble. Today's incident had started because of her, and Ningxi was innocent. Liang Biqin took Su Yimo's arm and glared at Ningxi. Cousin, let's go. We've wasted so much time on such a trivial matter. What bad luck. Su Yimo glanced at Ningxi coldly and walked away without looking back. The onlookers who were whispering to each other were ready to disperse. I didn't expect this to be the result. Although Bai Lu escaped, Ningxi is doomed, isn't she? That goes without saying. What a huge crime. It's just a matter of dying sooner or later. Just as Su Yimo and the others were about to leave, Ningxi's voice came from behind them. Senior Su, please wait. Su Yimo's expression turned even worse, as if to say, What right do you have to make me stop? Liang Biqin immediately snapped. Ningxi, you're not done, are you? Zhao Meixin looked at Ningxi mockingly. Oh, what? Are you afraid now? Are you regretting? However, the words have already been said, and there are so many witnesses at the scene. It's too late to back out now. The corner of Ningxi's mouth curled up imperceptibly. Sister Mei Xian is worrying too much. How could I regret it? Then why did you ask my cousin to wait? Are you crazy? Ningxi looked at Su Yimo, who was looking down at her with disdain. I just wanted to remind Senior Su of something. Please take off your clothes. Chapter 399. As soon as he finished speaking, the entire place was filled with the sound of people sucking in a breath of cold air and fear. Liang Biqin's eyes widened. Ningxi, you're so bold. Even Su Yimo, who had been disdainful of talking to Ningxi, turned livid and scolded in a low voice. How dare you? Zhao Meixin's face was twisted with anger. Ningxi, are you crazy? How dare you say such filthy words to humiliate Yimo in public? Bai Lu was so scared that she didn't even dare to speak, and everyone looked at Ningxi as if they had seen a ghost. Ningxi, how dare she say that? She's been behaving strangely today. Is she under a spell? Otherwise, why would she keep looking for trouble? Hearing Su Yimo and the others scolding, Ningxi's expression didn't change at all. Instead, she put on an innocent expression. Well, I don't know what I said wrong. Why are you so angry, Senior Su? I've already compensated for the damaged clothes as you asked. So shouldn't Senior Su's clothes belong to me now? Everyone was silent. Even Su Yimo and the other two were speechless. In the end, it was Liang Biqin who spoke first. Ningxi, are you crazy because of poverty? You want a piece of ragged clothes? Ningxi had a troubled expression as she looked at Su Yimo. Miss Liang's words are really wrong. Senior Su's clothes are so expensive. How can you say it's ragged clothes? This is Chanel's latest international limited edition haute couture dress. It's not even on the market yet. Even if it's on the market, there are only 10 of them in the world. If you don't have one, you'll have one less. This kind of clothes, even if it's just a bag, is enough to buy my outfit. How can you say it's ragged clothes? Ningxi's memory was really good. She repeated all the compliments they had just given to this dress. You. Liang Biqin almost choked to death. Don't change the topic. What I mean is that the clothes are dirty and broken, not that they are torn. Ningxi nodded in understanding. It doesn't matter if it's dirty. Sister Meixin already said that it'll be fine as long as it's washed. It doesn't matter if it's damaged. I've seen it just now. That small flaw doesn't enter Senior Su's eyes. But anyway, my eyesight isn't very good and I'm relatively blind, so I don't care at all. Although he was saying that he was blind, the underlying meaning behind his words was still unknown to who was the one who was blind. However, Ningxi's words were so vague and flawless. Even if Su Yimo and the others understood, there was nothing they could do. Watching until now, the onlookers were already stunned. The plot had changed too quickly, like a tornado. After saying this, Ningxi suddenly looked at Liang Biqin with an extremely nervous expression. Miss Liang, your hand. Stay away from Senior Su. Be careful of the water diamonds on your fingernails. Don't let them hook into my clothes. This dress is so expensive, I can't afford it even if I sell it. As soon as he finished speaking, the people around him almost burst out laughing. Liang Biqin seemed to be about to faint from anger. Zhao Meixin stood up and scolded her solemnly. Ningxi, do you have any shame? You're a scoundrel. Ningxi looked aggrieved. Scoundrels are all unreasonable. I don't know if what I said was scoundrel or scoundrel. Chapter 400. You. The most infuriating thing about Ningxi's words was that they were reasonable and couldn't be refuted. After fighting with Liang Biqin and Zhao Meixin, Ningxi turned to Su Yimo and said pitifully, Senior Su, I know this is your favorite. It took a lot of courage for me to ask you to take it off for me. Actually, I regretted it as soon as I said it. A gentleman doesn't take what others love. Senior Su's clothes. I'll give it to you too. I don't want it. Ningxi, you. Su Yimo had never been bullied like this ever since she became famous. Unable to catch his breath, he nearly vomited blood. What did she mean by giving it to her? This bitch actually spoke as if she was giving it to her. Cousin, are you okay? Liang Biqin shouted excitedly. Ningxi, how dare you say you're not a scoundrel? Do you want my cousin to take off her clothes and give it to you in front of so many people? Do you want to die? Liang Biqin was so agitated that she almost blurted out. Ningxi looked terrified. How is that possible? Of course Senior Su will find a washroom or somewhere else to change, and I'll wait here. I can wait as long as you want. Zhao Meixin comforted Su Yimo as she looked at the gray clothes in her hands. This is pajamas. You asked Yimo to change into this pajamas? Ningxi hurriedly said. How can that be? Sister Meixin, you've wronged me. Then if you don't have any spare clothes in the nanny van, I can wait a few more days. She was implying that Zhao Meixin and the others couldn't bear to part with Su Yimo's clothes, so they deliberately picked on Ningxi. At this moment, Su Yimo finally calmed down. Her lips were pale as she said sternly to Zhao Meixin. Give it back to her. Give it back. Give it back to her. Zhao Meixin looked troubled. This, Yimo, if I give it back to her, there would be no evidence of her embezzling the company's finances. Before she could finish, Su Yimo glared at her. Didn't you hear what I said? Didn't she embarrass herself enough today? She had had enough. Zhao Meixin didn't dare to disobey her. She hurriedly ran to Ningxi and stuffed the pajamas into her hands. All right. You can have it back. It's just a piece of clothing. Look at how anxious you are. You look like you've never seen the world. In order to get back at her, Liang Biqin quickly added, I told you she's a country bumpkin. You're treating a piece of ruined clothing as if it's something. You're just short of ripping it off my cousin. Then, she glared at the people around her and urged them to curse Ningxi. The onlookers were already dumbfounded when Ningxi suddenly called out to Su Yimo, so they were so quiet that they forgot to speak. Now that Liang Biqin was urging them, a few of them absent-mindedly said a few perfunctory words. Exactly. Look at how poor she is. Big Sis Yimo is too generous. It's such an expensive dress, but in the end, she said she didn't want to pay for it. Sister Mo is just teaching them how to behave. She doesn't really care about a piece of clothing. Why is she so anxious? Su Yimo took a deep breath and resumed her noble and cold expression. She walked away with Liang Biqin and Zhao Meixin by her side without looking back. Chapter 401. Behind her, Ningxi smiled and carefully patted the dust on the clothes in her hand. Tut, she should go back and wash it. It was dirted by these people's dirty hands. The clothes were given to her by Mr. Boss. How could she really give them to Su Yimo? Even if she took them, She had to spit them out. It was not until a long time after Su Yimo left that the people around finally dared to speak. They were all in a trance. That's it? I guessed the beginning, but I didn't know the ending. Moreover, did you notice? Ningxi only went home once and said a few words. In the end, she didn't have to pay any price and she's fine. That's true. After the crowd gradually dispersed, Bailu finally recovered her senses and anxiously walked to Ningxi's side. Ningxi. Ha! Sister Bailu. Ningxi carefully folded the clothes and put them into her bag. Bailu frowned. Ningxi, although this matter has been solved, you have offended them badly today. What if they make trouble for you in the future? Ningxi smiled carelessly. Sister Bailu, do you think they won't make trouble for me in the future if I don't offend them? Bailu was slightly stunned and shook her head subconsciously. That was true. Given Ningxi's current position, she had a conflict of interest with Su Yimo. No matter how careful she was, trouble was inevitable. And Sister Bailu, don't worry. Su Yimo cares about her reputation the most. Today's matter has become so big. If she immediately makes trouble for you, it will be too obvious. So in the short term, you are safe. She didn't mention Ningxi. Now all the hatred had been transferred to her. Su Yimo had no time to care about Bailu. Bailu was moved and bowed to thank her. Ningxi, thank you so much for today. Otherwise, I would have been kicked out of the company. Sister Bailu, you're welcome. I didn't help you much. We are both in the same boat. Ningxi said and noticed the bruises on Bailu's knees. Sister Bailu, are you okay? Do you want to go to the hospital? Bailu hurriedly shook her head. No need, it's just a small injury. Then she looked a little embarrassed. Ningxi, just call me by my name. Don't call me sister. I'm not qualified to call you sister. Ningxi chuckled. You're older than me. Isn't it natural for me to call you sister? Besides, I really like Sister Bailu's works. Your Red River, Green On, Where the Wind Blows. I've seen all of them. His acting skills are amazing. Bailu was stunned when she heard that. You've seen my radiographic films? These were all works that she had more scenes in, but because they were too artistic, she didn't make any waves. Plus, she was unlucky, so she didn't win any awards. Ningxi nodded confidently. Yes. Sister Bailu's acting skills are very unique, especially when it comes to handling the details. I've specially studied it, but unfortunately you have too few films. But it's alright, I've seen the movie you just released. Listen. I feel that the possibility of you winning an award is very high. Then you'll be able to act in more good films and benefit the audience. Bailu stared blankly at Ningxi's long speech and couldn't come back to her senses for a long time. She now believed that Ningxi had really seen her works, otherwise she wouldn't know her acting style so well. Chapter 402. All of a sudden, all the grievances she had suffered in the past 10 years gushed out, and she sighed with emotion. She had always thought that what she had done was useless. No matter how hard she tried, no one would notice it. She didn't expect that there would be someone who had paid attention to her. Bailu's voice trembled with excitement. Thank you. Ningxi, thank you so much. But I didn't even dare to think about winning an award. As long as I can stay in the company and not starve to death. Bailu smiled bitterly. Actually, I've thought about changing careers, but I realized that 10 years is too long. Acting has become an inseparable part of me. Other than acting, I don't know anything else. Ningxi could understand how Bailu felt. She immediately said, Sister Bailu, I have a hunch. You'll be famous. My hunch is very accurate. Bailu couldn't help laughing. Even though she knew she was comforting her, she still felt warm inside. Thank you. It's already so late. I'm running out of time. Let's talk next time. Bye, Sister Bailu. Ningxi looked at the time. She was half an hour late. She hurriedly said goodbye to Bailu and ran upstairs. Bye. Ningxi rushed to Lin Jiji's office panting. Jiang Mai's face was already dark. When he saw her, he immediately threw the game console in his hand. Ningxi, are you doing this on purpose? You make me wait for so long every time. Do you know how much money I make per minute? Do you know how busy I am and how precious my time is? Hearing this, Ningxi put on a more reasonable expression. Golden hair, don't you have any gentlemanly demeanor? I'm a girl. What's wrong with waiting for me? Jiang Mai almost vomited blood. Huh? Girl? Now you remember that you are a girl. Why didn't he remember that she was a girl when he beat her? I'll be a girl whenever I want. Ningxi snorted and skipped straight to Lin Jiji. Sister Jiji, I'm sorry. I was delayed by something, so I'm a little late. I'm sorry for making you wait for me. Jiang Mai. Alright, he was already numb to this differential treatment. Lin Jiji was used to the way Ningxi and Jiang Mai got along. She calmly looked up from the computer screen and glanced at her. Did you have a conflict with Su Yimo? It's over. Big sis Jiji found out. Ningxi raised her eyebrows and rolled her eyes. She immediately praised Lin Jiji. Sister Jiji. You even know about it. It had just happened a second ago. You are like the reincarnation of Zhuge Kongming. You don't even need to step out of your house to know what's happening in the world. Jiang Mai. Lin Jiji was silent for a few seconds. She looked at her helplessly and said, It's already spread in the company's group chat. Ningxi was dumbfounded. His flattery had gone too far. Ahem, so it was spread in the company group chat. Hee. Everyone is too gossipy. What? No more conflict with Su Yimo? What happened? Jiang Mai was unhappy that he was ignored. He walked directly to Lin Jiji's desk and snatched the mouse from her hand. Because of Jiang Mai's sudden approach, Lin Jiji's usually calm face flashed with a trace of imperceptible strangeness, but she quickly recovered. Seeing Jiang Mai go to look, Ningxi followed him and didn't notice the subtle change in Lin Jiji. Chapter 403. Jiang Mai looked at the chat records in the group and was amazed. His eyes sparkled. Finally, he patted Ningxi on the shoulder. Ning Xiaoxi. Good job. Well done. That's so satisfying. I'm glad you listened to what I said last time. Not bad. Keep it up. Ningxi rolled her eyes at him and looked at Lin Jiji nervously. Sister Jiji, do you think it's too high profile for me to handle this? Lin Jiji pondered for a moment and said, In that situation, your handling of the situation was already considered perfect. But it's a bit too high profile. Lin Jiji couldn't be blamed for worrying. After all, everyone in the company knew that Su Yimo's backer was that person from Lu Enterprises. Even if Ningxi was close to Lu Jingli, it would still be dangerous. She was most afraid that Ningxi's wings would be broken before they were fully developed. During this period of time, she really valued this girl and wanted to take good care of her. Jiang Mai looked down at Lin Jiji and immediately knew what she was worried about. He curled his lips and said indifferently, What are you worrying about? Ningxi has a strong backer. Compared to Su. Before he could finish, Ningxi grabbed an apple and stuffed it in his mouth. Eat your apple. Men shouldn't interrupt when women are talking. Go away. Jiang Mai took the apple away. Ning Xiaoxi, do you want to fight? Ningxi twisted her wrist. I don't want to, but you seem to want to. Since that's the case, I'll satisfy you. Jiang Mai said decisively, I'm going to eat the apple. Ningxi nodded in satisfaction, and then turned to Lin Jiji who was laughing. Sister Jiji, when you worked with this guy, was he a jerk? He was very good at tormenting people, wasn't he? Lin Jiji narrowed her eyes and seemed to be reminiscing. She answered tactfully, a little. Ningxi snorted. Then he was a lot. Don't worry, I'll help you vent your anger. Jiang Mai gritted his teeth, but didn't dare to say anything. He could only bite the apple angrily. Sure enough, he had to pay for what he had done. Oh right. Sister Jiji. I almost forgot. I want to tell you something very, very important. Ningxi suddenly said with great excitement. What is it? Lin Jiji asked. Big Sister Jiji, accept the role for me. Accept a role for me. I want to work. Ningxi requested excitedly. Lin Jiji looked doubtful. So fast. Your last scene is very intense, so I've reserved a month's vacation for you. Ningxi waved her hand nonchalantly. No need. I've rested enough. I want to act. I want to make money. Earn a lot of money. Then drive a luxury car, live in a mansion, start a big company, do charity, and walk to the peak of life. The corner of Jiang Mai's mouth twitched. Hee hee. Reaching the pinnacle of life, and then marrying a rich and beautiful woman? Ning Xiaoxi, are you on steroids? Why was he so excited all of a sudden? Something felt strange. Lin Jiji chuckled. In fact, she really liked the girl's energetic personality. However, she still rationally advised, your spirit is commendable, but you can't. After the post-production of The World is completed in a month, you'll have to fly to various cities to promote the movie. You'll be very tired, so you have to conserve your energy now. Oh, Ningxi immediately hung her head in disappointment. Chapter 404. Lin Jiji continued. However, you don't have to worry that you'll be idle this month. After all, your time is very precious now. Other than the filming of the game endorsement this month, I've been helping you filter out the scripts. I've almost finished reading them. I'll give you the scripts after today's filming. During this time, you can stay at home and choose which one you like. I'll keep an eye out for the reality shows for you as well. Ningxi perked up at the mention of a script. Got it. Thank you, Sister Jiji. Sister Jiji, you're so good to me. Jiang Mai rubbed his goosebumps. Are you done flattering me? Can we go now? Go, 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 go. Go and earn some money. A moment later, in the studio of the game company. Yes, yes, yes. Closer. A little closer. Miss Ning, you need to be a little more delicate and lovable, like a little bird. No, 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 not like this. Be shy. Mr. Jiang, your expression is too stiff. Be gentle. Yes. Be affectionate, more affectionate, gentler. Ningxi, who was dressed in a gorgeous ancient costume, was curled up in Jiang Mai's arms. She was in so much pain that she wished she was dead. Damn it. The price of earning money is too high. Jiang Mai, who was dressed in a handsome swordsman's outfit, twitched his mouth. Do you think I want that? You might as well beat me up. After a whole day of tormenting each other, the shooting of the game's promotional photos was finally over. But it wasn't over yet. There were still promotional videos and a few more nights of live streaming. Alas, it wasn't easy to earn money. Damn it, Ningxi, shooting a commercial with you is more tiring than shooting a fight scene. Time to go back to sleep. Bye-bye. Jiang Mai climbed into the nanny van like a dead dog. Ningxi was also exhausted, but she was energized at the thought of the script. Sister Jiji, the script. Lin Jiji took out a stack of scripts from her bag and handed them to her. Then, she revealed a slightly troubled expression. I gave them to you because you're too free. Actually, I should have applied for these scripts from the higher-ups first. It's just that second young master suddenly went on vacation, and it seems like he's on a small island. I can't even contact him. Ningxi was a little surprised. Well, does Lu Jingli have to review all the scripts I shoot? Lin Jiji nodded. That's what second young master said. At that time, he said that he wanted to show it to someone in charge of the Lu group. In short, it's a good thing that he values you so much. Ningxi touched her chin. The person in charge of Lu Enterprises? Could it be Sir Boss? The more he thought about it, the more likely it seemed. After all, Lu Tingxiao was the one who had poached her. Perhaps he wanted to check on her subject matter. How long will second young master be on vacation? Ningxi asked casually. Lin Jiji sighed. 3 months. What? Ningxi exclaimed. It's been 3 months. The daylilies had all turned cold. Was there such an irresponsible boss? So if he doesn't come back for a day, I can't shoot? Lin Jiji nodded helplessly. According to the process, yes. So I'm also having a headache. I've tried all the ways, but I can't contact him. It was a terrible news. How could that be? She wanted to shoot a movie. She wanted to make money. Ningxi was very anxious. Then she suddenly thought of something. She paused and said hesitantly, well, Sister Jiji, since Lu Jingli can't be contacted, can we directly contact his higher-ups? Chapter 405. Lu Jingli's boss? Lin Jiji shook her head. That's skipping ranks. I'm afraid second young master won't be happy. Besides, people of our level can't get in touch with Lu Enterprises. Ningxi laughed. Sister Gigi, skipping ranks is a big taboo in the workplace. If it were someone else, I wouldn't dare to mention it. But if it's second young master, do you think he would care about such a thing? Lin Gigi hesitated. Well, Ningxi understood that Lin Gigi was a cautious person, which was a good thing. It complimented her. She thought for a moment and said, Sister Gigi, if you really care about the second young master, I can guarantee that there won't be any problems. As for how to get in touch with the people at the company, I happen to know an assistant of second young master. I'll ask him to pass a message to the higher-ups and explain the situation. It shouldn't be a problem. Besides, this is indeed a special situation. If she really had to wait for 3 months, she was afraid that she would swim to Lu Jingli's island with a kitchen knife and hack him to death. Lin Gigi thought for a while and made sure that there was no problem. She nodded and said, Okay, give it a try. Okay, Ningxi answered cheerfully. She put on her mask and sunglasses. I'll go back and read the script. Hurry up and finalize the film. Okay, go ahead. Be careful on the road. Lin Gigi said in a low voice. It's a little inconvenient that you don't have a car. Bear with it for a few days. When The World is released, I can help you apply for a car from the company. Thank you, Sister Gigi, I love you. After returning home, Ningxi sat cross-legged on the bed and glanced through the scripts. Lin Gigi had picked out excellent scripts for her. Most importantly, they were suitable for her. Unlike Lung Manyun, who was aloof and artsy, Lin Gigi planned for her future to be a win-win for business and reputation. Hence, the scripts she chose were of high quality and would sell well easily. Ningxi flipped through the scripts and it was already late at night. There were basically all kinds of movies. There were romance movies, comedy movies, fantasy movies, thriller movies, and there were also period dramas like Tianxia. The scripts were also very good, but for some reason, Ningxi was always a little uninterested. There wasn't a movie like The World that made her so excited and wanted to act in it at first sight. Ningxi flipped through several books several times, and finally her eyes fell on a book that she had thrown at the end of the bed. The name of the script was I Only Like You, which was obviously a boring youth idol drama, so Ningxi was not interested in it at the beginning. Oh, but from the few books that she had just read, every book had its own unique and innovative points, which made her eyes light up. So, could there be something special about this book? Ningxi picked up the script again. As a result, as soon as he read the summary of the content, his whole face lit up. Fuck me. This book was so exciting. She had actually thrown it away in disdain. Simply, this script was indeed one of those idol dramas that talked about love and could easily become popular. Furthermore, it was based on the most popular theme of a domineering CEO. The difference was that this time, the domineering CEO wasn't the male lead, but the female lead who was disguised as a man. Chapter 406. To put it simply, the female lead's family was very, very rich. They were the richest and wealthiest family in the area. Her grandfather had 2 sons, but for some reason, it was very difficult for them to have children. They just couldn't give birth, much less have a son to inherit the family business. Finally, the female lead's mother got pregnant, and it was found out to be a son. The whole family was overjoyed. What happened next could basically be guessed. After 10 months of pregnancy, the child that was born turned out to be a girl. It was like a bolt out of the blue. The female lead's mother couldn't bear the self-blame and pressure. In addition, the female lead's father wanted to inherit the family business, so the two of them decided to have their daughter disguise as a man. This disguise went on for more than 20 years. How the female lead had not been discovered for so many years was not a problem. Idol dramas did not care about logic in the first place. In short, this theme had completely piqued Ningxi's interest. Not only did she disguise as a man, but the female lead's character was also very interesting. She was good at flirting with girls and men. She was cynical and liked thrills. Looking at it closely, it was as if it was tailor-made for her. The male lead's setting wasn't bad either. He was the female lead's assistant butler, and was a loyal dog. He was sent by the female lead's grandfather to keep her in check. The female lead hated him at first and made things difficult for him in all sorts of ways. As they interacted, sparks gradually flew. I only like you. This was it. After making the decision, Ningxi was so excited that she couldn't sleep. Early the next morning, she ran to the company to discuss it with Lin Jiji. Sister Jiji, I've chosen. Lin Jiji looked at the girl in surprise. So fast. Which one have you taken a fancy to? This one. Ningxi handed the book she had chosen to Lin Jiji like it was a treasure. Lin Jiji picked up the book and glanced at it. I only like you. It's a very popular IP. It's an adaptation of a popular novel. Yes. That's it. Lin Jiji held her head in her hand and pondered for a moment. Then she analyzed. Are you sure you want to choose this? The investment for this script isn't huge, only 10 million yuan. Of course, for a modern drama, this investment isn't considered small. When I first chose this script, it was because of your stage and looks. It's very suitable for idol dramas, but I didn't dare to choose a typical idol drama for you, because it's easy to be labeled as a pretty face and waste the good reputation that the world has accumulated. But this drama is different. The female lead of this drama is a test of her acting skills. Ningxi nodded. Sister Jiji, you're right. Lin Jiji raised her head and looked at her carefully. To be honest, I'm a little surprised that you would choose this. With your looks, are you sure you're up to the task of dressing up as a man? If they didn't handle it well and acted like a sissy, it would make the plot seem fake and the audience would criticize them. If he wasn't careful, it would turn into a thunderstorm. It's not like there hasn't been such a case before. I'm sure I'm confident. Otherwise, I'll go home and change into men's clothes for you to see, Ningxi said and was about to run home. Lin Jiji chuckled. No need. It's fine as long as you're confident. I believe in you. Actually, in this drama The World, from the small scene where Ningxi acted as a female general, she had a very heroic air about her. Her aura didn't belong to a man. If she really dressed up as a man, although it would be difficult, it wasn't impossible. Ningxi was so touched that her eyes welled up. Sister Jiji, I love you so much. Then I'll go and contact the people at the company now? Go ahead. Chapter 407. Ningxi happily left the company and sent a text message to Lu Tingxiao while walking. Tang Xiaoxi, boss, are you free now? I have something to trouble you with. At the same time, in a factory of the Lu Enterprises, a group of senior leaders were clustered around the black-suited, cold-faced boss in awe and trepidation. The factory director, who was leading the way, was talking nonstop about the high-tech equipment in the factory and bragging about his own achievements. Before he could finish his words, he heard a ding sound. It seemed to be a message notification. Lu Tingxiao looked down at the message and immediately raised his hand to signal for silence. The director was still talking nonstop, but he only reacted after being reminded by the deputy director next to him. He quickly shut his mouth while trembling with fear. They saw that after their boss received a message, he immediately called back. Everyone looked at each other. Was there something urgent? On the other side, Ningxi was feeling uneasy. She didn't know if Lu Tingxiao was busy at this time, and if she would disturb him. In the end, a few seconds later, Lu Tingxiao's call came in. Ningxi hurriedly picked up. Boss. Yes, what's up? On the other end of the line, the leaders around Lu Tingxiao couldn't help but tremble when they heard their boss's voice. Damn, who is our boss calling? Why is his voice so gentle? Yes, a little. Is it convenient for you to answer the phone now? Ningxi asked. Lu Tingxiao. Yes, go ahead. At this moment, Lu Tingxiao was surrounded by a large group of middle, senior, and grassroots leaders. Ningxi. Oh, it's like this. I've chosen the script for my next TV series, but no one can review it for me. Second young master is on vacation, and I can't contact him. I heard he will be back in 3 months. Lu Tingxiao immediately understood and said, I'm inspecting the workshop now. It's almost over. Go to my company and wait for me. I'll be back soon. The leaders were stunned. Boss actually said such a long sentence in one breath. In particular, the factory director who had been talking nonstop just now was dumbfounded. He thought to himself, I've talked so much, but the boss only said one word from beginning to end. That word was yes. And what did he mean by almost over? He still had a lot to report. Ningxi. You're inspecting. And you said it was convenient to answer the phone? Ningxi hurriedly said. Okay, I'll go to your company and wait for you. Yes. Lu Tingxiao hung up the phone, glanced at his assistant, Cheng Feng, and said, make a call and arrange for Xiaofeng to take her to my office. Yes, I'll go now. Cheng Feng had been with Lu Tingxiao for so long that he knew that once the boss spoke in that tone, he must be talking to Miss Ningxi, so he immediately answered and went to make a phone call. Hello, Secretary Feng, I'm Cheng Feng. Assistant Cheng, what's the matter? It's like this. In a moment, a young lady with the surname Ning will come over to look for Chief Lu. Take her directly to Chief Lu's office and wait. Is it appropriate to bring her directly to Boss Lu's office? Assistant Cheng, are you sure it's not the reception room? Secretary Feng suspected that Cheng Feng had said something wrong. After all, CEO Lu's office was such a confidential place. How could he bring someone in without the owner present? Chapter 408. Yes, just do as I say. Also, be more polite and take good care of her. Cheng Feng kindly reminded. Yes, I understand. The little secretary replied nervously. When Cheng Feng returned from his business, he saw his boss glancing at the factory manager beside him. Then he opened his thin lips and said, long story short, I'll give you 3 minutes. The factory manager was dumbfounded. Free. What could he say in 3 minutes? He had no choice but to swallow his saliva and forcefully hold back the long speech that was brewing in his heart. He began to sweat profusely as he thought about how to compress 30 minutes into 3 minutes. Cheng Feng returned to Lu Tingxiao's side and calmly glanced at the bitter expression on the factory manager's face. He couldn't help but shake his head and sigh in his heart. 3 minutes, be content. Since he had an appointment with a beauty, it would be good if the boss didn't say 30 seconds. In the end, the factory manager could only quickly explain the most important parts such as profit and cost. Because of the temporary compression, and the boss's expression was too scary, he stuttered a little. After he finished speaking, he looked like he was going to die. It wasn't easy for him to have a chance to perform in front of the big boss, but in the end, he couldn't even speak properly. Wasn't he dead? Lu Tingxiao looked at his watch. Another in. This meant, did he pass? It was actually so easy. Lu Tingxiao returned to the company. The senior leaders of the group were stunned for a moment, then immediately followed Lu Tingxiao out. Lu Group Building. Ningxi walked to the front desk with the script. Hello, I'll have to trouble you. I'm looking for Boss Lu. In order to avoid trouble from being recognized, Ningxi wore a white mask. Do you have an appointment? The little secretary asked without raising her head. Ningxi, no, but I. Before she could finish, the little secretary interrupted her and skillfully refused. I'm sorry, if you don't have an appointment, you should make one first. However, even if you make an appointment, you won't be able to see him immediately. Boss Lu's schedule is currently 3 months later. There were too many people who came to find Boss Lu with all kinds of excuses every day. There were even people who waited at the entrance for a few days and nights. The little secretary had seen too many of them, so she casually sent them away. But I've already told Boss Lu. Ningxi finished speaking. You've told Boss Lu? Who are you? He could talk to Boss Lu directly? Just as the secretary was about to speak, she suddenly remembered the phone call from Cheng Feng. Wait. Miss, may I know your surname? My surname is Ning. Hearing this, the little secretary immediately smiled warmly and said, That's right. So it was Miss Ning. Assistant Cheng has already informed me. Come with me, I'll bring you up now. Ningxi was speechless at the little secretary's sudden change. Well, thank you. As the secretary led the way, she carefully sized up the woman in front of her. Wearing a mask, so mysterious, from Assistant Cheng's voice on the phone, this woman seemed to have a close relationship with President Lu, coupled with the recent rumors that the boss had a woman by his side. Rumor had it that the woman was a popular female artist, Su Yimo. Could it be the one in front of me? But looking at her low-key outfit, it didn't seem like Su Yimo's style. Miss Ning, it's here. Please come in, I'll pour you a cup of tea. Thank you. Ningxi thanked her and walked into Lu Tingxiao's office. Chapter 409. Ningxi stood in the middle of the room and looked around curiously. This was the first time she had been to Lu Tingxiao's office. This house was indeed the style of its owner. Everything was in cool colors, made of metal and glass. It was so cold that there was not a single trace of fire. Ningxi looked around and couldn't help thinking of the golden decoration style of Shengshi Entertainment. She couldn't help complaining in her heart. The two brothers' aesthetic standards were so different. While she was lost in thought, the secretary came in. Miss Ning, the tea is ready. Please sit down and wait. The secretary not only brought tea, but also a bunch of exquisite snacks. Thank you, sorry to trouble you. You're welcome. The secretary waved her hand but didn't leave. Ningxi picked up the teacup. Seeing that the secretary didn't leave, she asked suspiciously, Miss Secretary, is there anything else? No. Please have some tea. The secretary came back to herself and hurried out. Sigh. What a pity. She wanted to see what she looked like when she took off her mask. Ningxi realized the secretary's intention and laughed. It turned out that Lu Tingxiao's subordinates were also gossipy. Ningxi sat down on the sofa, took off her mask and took a sip of tea. At this time, she caught a glimpse of a thick booklet on the coffee table. What was this? It didn't look like a document or something like that. At the same time, Lu Tingxiao and the senior executives had rushed to the entrance of the company. Everyone was extremely curious. What was the matter with the boss that made him so anxious? Lu Tingxiao got out of the car and was about to enter the building. He had only taken a few steps when he suddenly thought of something. His expression instantly changed. Although he was anxious just now, his face was like a sunny day. Now it was filled with dark clouds and a strong wind. It was as if the sky was going to collapse. The senior executives were all scared out of their wits when they saw his expression. Was the company going to collapse? Lu Tingxiao cursed and immediately quickened his pace, striding towards the front desk. Hello, Boss Lu. Secretary Fong hurriedly greeted him. Where is she? Lu Tingxiao asked sternly. She. The secretary was startled by the boss's scary expression. She was dazed for a moment before she reacted. Boss Lu, are you talking about Miss Ning? She is already waiting for you in your office. What? Lu Tingxiao's face turned even scarier. The little secretary was about to cry on the spot. Boss Lu, is there a problem? Assistant Cheng told me to bring the young lady to your office to wait for her. Looking at Lu Tingxiao's expression, Cheng Feng panicked. He thought to himself, Boss, you were the one who told me to wait in your office. Lu Tingxiao pinched his forehead and asked in a low voice, How long has she been up there? The secretary trembled as she looked at the time. About 7 or 8 minutes. Lu Tingxiao didn't say anything else. With a dark expression, he quickly walked towards the elevator. Behind Lu Tingxiao, the secretary anxiously called out to Cheng Feng. Assistant Cheng, what the hell happened? Did I do something wrong? You were the one who told me to bring people up. I wasn't sure, so I asked you again. At this moment, Cheng Feng's face was also pale. You ask me, who should I ask? Don't be too nervous. I'll take a look at the situation and tell you later. Then please hurry up. The little secretary replied while crying. Waiting for even a second was torture. After coming out of the elevator, Lu Tingxiao forcefully tugged at his tie. In the end, he practically ran all the way to his office. The employees who were working along the way all looked as if they had seen a ghost. Fuck. Why did the figure that just flew past look a bit like their own boss? First, post the 5 chapters you've finished writing. The rest will be updated during the day, estimated to be a bit late. Also, darling, I've already said many times not to wait for updates at midnight. I'll say it again, don't wait at midnight. Read it during the day. I can't guarantee that I'll finish writing at midnight. Chapter 410. Finally, they arrived at the door of the office. With a bang, Lu Tingxiao pushed the door open. In the office, Ningxi was sitting quietly on the sofa, holding a thick booklet with a conspicuous red cover. Looking at the booklet in the girl's hand, Lu Tingxiao's calm eyes suddenly became emotional, and even his voice trembled. Ningxi. Ningxi blinked her eyes and looked at Lu Tingxiao, who suddenly pushed the door open and came in. She saw that Lu Tingxiao's face was solemn, and he was panting slightly. Even his tie and clothes were a bit messy. Mr. Boss, what's wrong with you? Ningxi asked blankly. Lu Tingxiao walked up to her step by step, and his eyes fell coldly on the booklet in her hand. Ningxi hurriedly apologized. Well, I'm sorry. I saw it here. It shouldn't be private information. So I picked it up and glanced at it. Then she quickly put the booklet away and didn't dare to touch it. Ningxi, my mother put it here. I haven't seen it. Lu Tingxiao's back was stiff, and there was a trace of imperceptible nervousness in his voice. Oh, Ningxi scratched her head. You don't believe me? Of course I believe you. Lu Tingxiao didn't seem to be good at explaining. After a long while he put on a straight face and said word by word, Don't be angry. It's my parents' decision. I have no intention of going on a blind date. Even if they arranged it, I wouldn't go. He had been thinking that his girl had sent him a text message, but he had forgotten such an important thing. When he walked to the door of the company, he remembered that the photo album was still in his office. Ningxi had been in there for a while, and it was very likely that she had seen it. Hearing this, Ningxi finally understood everything. She was stunned, and her face was full of surprise. Did Lu Tingxiao rush all the way here just for this? Furthermore, he was in such a rush? In an instant, she had an indescribable feeling in her heart. She did think that as long as there was a slight possibility, she would work hard for it, but she never selfishly hoped that Lu Tingxiao would wait for her until the end. If he met someone he liked more along the way, she would definitely give him her blessings. If worse comes to worst, I'll just get drunk 3,000 times. Ningxi raised her head and looked at the gloomy man in front of her softly. Lu Tingxiao, you don't have to be like this. The world is so big. You can go and have a look. Who knows, you might meet a girl you like more. Lu Tingxiao blurted out. Ningxi, no one else but you. You are my world. Ningxi. She was instantly killed. The great demon king didn't even need to think about it now. Words of love came out of his mouth. Let's not talk about this. Mr. Boss, your time is precious. Please take a look at this script. Ningxi took out the script in time. Lu Tingxiao looked at Ningxi carefully. Making sure she wasn't angry, he sighed. Wait a minute. After saying that, he took off his tie, took off his coat, and hung it on the hanger. He should have been relieved that she wasn't angry, but there was a deep sense of disappointment in his heart. The only reason he wasn't angry was because he didn't love her or care about her. When Lu Tingxiao wasn't paying attention, Ningxi muttered a few words to herself to avoid seeing Lu Tingxiao take off his clothes. Damn it, he's seducing me again. He's seducing me again. Chapter 411. After taking off his jacket, Lu Tingxiao adjusted his cuffs and said, I might have to read for a while. You can go to the lounge and sleep first. You don't look very well. Ningxi touched the dark circles under her eyes. I was too excited last night. I read the script all night. Lu Tingxiao said. Go to sleep. I'll call you when I'm ready. The boss is working, but I'm going to sleep. That's not good, right? Ningxi felt that it was inappropriate. Lu Tingxiao glanced at her. You can't help me even if you don't sleep, but sleeping can make me feel at ease. Ningxi said. Oh, I'll go now. She'd better avoid being in the same space as the devil. The devil couldn't control his desire to hit on girls anymore. As soon as she finished speaking, Ningxi slipped into the lounge. Although the lounge was also simple and cold, perhaps because it was the place where the great demon king had slept, there was a hint of warmth in it. Huh? Wait. The place where the devil slept? She was just going to sleep here? Just as she was struggling, her phone rang. There was a new message. Lu Cabbage. The bedsheets were just changed. Ningxi. Did the devil have a god's eye view? Scary. Outside the lounge, Lu Tingxiao couldn't help smiling as he imagined Ningxi's expression when she saw the message. Then Lu Tingxiao focused on reading the script. Ningxi was indeed too excited to sleep last night. Not long after she touched the pillow, she fell asleep soundly. It was peaceful and quiet inside the office, but outside the office, it was still a hell full of wind and rain. From the moment they saw Lu Tingxiao run back, all the employees were in a state of panic. It's over. I think it's going to be a big deal this time. What kind of person is our boss? He doesn't show even when MT Tai is pressing down on him. This time, he actually ran around the company without a care for his image. I heard that when he was downstairs at the entrance of the company, his expression was so scary. Secretary Fong at the front desk was so scared that she cried. All of a sudden, everyone turned to look at Cheng Fong. Assistant Cheng, if you know anything, don't hide it from us. I'm about to have a heart attack. That's right. Just tell us directly. Is there a big crisis in the company? We're not going to lose our jobs, are we? Tell us so that we can be mentally prepared. Just now, there was a woman who seemed to be holding some documents in her hands and entered Boss Lu's office. Is she here to report some bad news? Cheng Fong was surrounded by a group of people and was in a terrible state. I beg of you, don't ask anymore. I really don't know anything. Just wait quietly. In fact, he was sure that it was not the company's problem. But even if it wasn't a problem with the company, it couldn't make him feel at ease. Because it was related to Miss Ning, the matter was even more serious. Time passed slowly and the sun gradually set. Soon it was time to get off work. Every employee sitting at their desks looked like they were waiting for death. No one dared to get up and leave. President's office. Lu Tingxiao's gaze fell in the direction of the resting room for a long time. After a while he snapped out of it, glanced at the time, and closed the script that he had already finished reading. He got up, walked to the door of the lounge and knocked. It was quiet inside. There was no sound at all. Lu Tingxiao gently pushed open the door to the lounge. Chapter 412. On the soft bed, the girl was sleeping soundly. Her cheeks were rosy, and her black hair was spread across the pure white pillow behind her. Lu Tingxiao couldn't help but feel extremely calm. He sat down on the edge of the bed and had the urge to do nothing but look at her. Do nothing? This scene didn't seem very possible. It had been a long time since she left the platinum gold rank palace. He hadn't looked at her so closely for a long time. He hadn't been close to her for a long time. Even though he knew he shouldn't. This kind of temptation was beyond his rationality and his self-control didn't work at all. Lu Tingxiao picked up a lock of the girl's hair and kissed it gently. Then he slowly covered the girl's soft cherry lips. He had wanted to leave after just one touch. But that was obviously an extravagant hope. After touching her, the soft and sweet touch made him sigh. He couldn't help but slowly caress it. Then he used his fingers to gently press down on her chin, greedily penetrating deeper, absorbing more sweetness. The girl couldn't breathe properly and moaned in discomfort. Lu Tingxiao's back stiffened. He should have left, but his body didn't listen to him at all. Because of her slight resistance, he became even more excited. He sucked on her lips and kissed her even deeper. Lu, hearing her murmur his name, Lu Tingxiao became even more aroused. He pinched her waist and almost rubbed her into his body. Because of the pain on her lips, Ningxi frowned and waved her hand unhappily. Lu Cabbage, Lu Tingxiao. Lu Tingxiao was completely stunned when he heard that name. When he came back to his senses, he buried his head in her warm neck and let out a low chuckle. Even his charming thoughts were interrupted by her. Lu Cabbage? This title. Alright, it seemed not bad. It was very special. It was exclusive to her. As night fell, Lu Tingxiao finally called out the girl's name reluctantly. Ningxi, wake up. Ningxi opened her eyes in a daze. As soon as she woke up, she saw the man's perfect face and gentle eyes. Ugh, was she dreaming? No. She was in the lounge of the Great Demon King's office. Ningxi hurriedly got up. Boss, did I sleep for a long time? What time is it? Not long, 2 hours, just right. Damn, am I a pig? I actually slept for 2 hours. Ningxi quickly turned over and got out of bed, then tidied up the quilt. Don't rush. Someone will clean it up later. Oh, let's go. It's late. It's time to eat. When Ningxi woke up, the first thing she asked was business. By the way, boss, have you finished reading the script? What do you think? Can I shoot it? In fact, she was very worried that Lu Tingxiao, who was strict and old-fashioned, might not accept the theme of the novel. Half of it, Lu Tingxiao answered. Half of it. The Great Demon King's reading speed didn't seem to be too fast? This doesn't make sense. It was probably because he was more cautious and saw more details. Sigh, how tragic. Do I have to wait for another day? How urgent. Ningxi was so impatient that she couldn't even wait a minute, let alone a whole day. She said bitterly. Then what should we do? I'll wait for you to finish reading and come back tomorrow. Chapter 413. Lu Tingxiao picked up his coat from the hanger and put it on as he said, I'm afraid I can't. I'm going abroad for a business trip tomorrow morning. What? Ningxi was shocked. It was like a bolt out of the blue. Why did the Great Demon King leave as well? Lu Tingxiao thought for a moment and said, So I have two options. Which two options? Ningxi asked hurriedly. Lu Tingxiao said, The first option is to wait for me to come back in a week. A week. Although it wasn't long, it wasn't short either. What about the second option? Lu Tingxiao glanced at her. The second option is to come home with me. Huh. Ningxi was stunned. Well, what do you mean? It means that you can have dinner at my place tonight. After dinner, I'll read the other half and discuss with you. It should be settled today, Lu Tingxiao explained. Ningxi blinked and said without hesitation, I choose the second option. Of course she would choose the second option. But after making her choice, she felt like she had fallen into a trap again. Lu Tingxiao's eyes lit up with a hint of a smile. Let's go. Ningxi walked in front of him attentively and helped Lu Tingxiao open the office door. But the next second, she was stunned when she opened the door. Everyone should have gotten off work at this time. But she saw that the office was full of employees. None of them had gotten off work. They were all bent over their desks, looking like they were working hard, except for a few glances at them from time to time. Ningxi couldn't help but exclaim, Boss, your employees are so hardworking. Lu Tingxiao glanced at his employees and then at Cheng Feng, who had been waiting outside the office for a long time. Cheng Feng shouldered everyone's hopes, so no matter how scared he was, he could only walk up to them, trembling with fear. Of course, he couldn't say that they were too scared to leave. He could only laugh and say, to thank the company for their support, everyone took the initiative to work overtime today. Lu Tingxiao's face was cold. I've always advocated efficient work instead of blindly working overtime. Cheng Feng thought to himself, it's over. Then Lu Tingxiao added, but your spirit is commendable. I'll increase everyone's salary by 30% this month as a bonus. Lu Tingxiao naturally knew what they were thinking. However, he did lose his composure today. He probably scared them. Let's just treat it as compensation for mental damage. Moreover, his wife had just praised them for being hardworking. Obviously, this was the main point. Hearing Lu Tingxiao's words, everyone couldn't believe their ears. Were they hallucinating? After worrying for an entire afternoon, she thought that the company was going to close down. In the end, the boss actually gave out bonuses. This happiness came too suddenly. However, before he could be shocked by the bonus, something even more shocking was yet to come. Let's go. Lu Tingxiao turned sideways and said to Ningxi. Then he walked straight through the staff area and asked the girl beside him softly, What do you want to eat tonight? I saw that you said that you want to lose weight. I'll ask the kitchen to prepare some low-fat food. Yes. Actually, I can do anything. Don't worry about me. At most, I'll eat less. It's okay to lose weight, but you have to take care of your body. What do you think of the nutritionist recommended by Qin Mufeng? If possible, I'll ask her to prepare a reasonable diet for you. Wouldn't it be too troublesome? No, I'll make a phone call for you tonight. Behind him, the entire company, all the employees. Chapter 414. Motherfucker. What did they see? What did they hear? This unexpected display of affection. This sudden display of affection. In an instant, everyone turned to look at Cheng Feng. That state was simply about to go crazy. Us. Quick. Want. Yes. 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 Holy shit. Assistant Chung, you're not loyal at all. How could you keep such a big thing a secret? There's no wind at all. We were so scared that we peed our pants. Just now, the boss suddenly gave us a bonus because the lady boss praised us for our hard work, right? The boss never liked us to work overtime. Definitely. Chung Feng rolled his eyes. He was so scared that he almost peed his pants, okay? Fortunately, these two people were fine. Seeing that the boss gave them a bonus and spoke softly, the crisis must have been resolved. In a sense, this Miss Ning, she was the one who decided their life and death. After calming down a little, a female employee muttered unhappily, "Don't get excited here. Who knows if it's the lady boss or not?" Many female employees in the company secretly admired Lu Tingxiao. They thought that the boss belonged to everyone. Now that he suddenly had a girlfriend, they naturally felt uncomfortable and echoed, "Maybe he's just playing around." A male employee retorted with a "you're too stupid" expression. From my point of view as a man, the boss is definitely serious this time. If the boss is really the kind of person who wants to play around, how could there be no women around him after so many years? Have you ever seen the boss lose his composure like this? Have you ever seen the boss so gentle? Have you ever seen the boss complete the subject and verb forms when he speaks to someone? More than that, since I entered the company, I've never heard the boss speak so much. I almost thought our boss had a speech disorder. That's nothing. We all thought the boss likes men, okay? Those unwilling female employees all looked aggrieved, but they couldn't refute it. Since they couldn't refute it, they inevitably began to find other ways to get back at him. Who is that woman? And she's wearing a mask. Is she so ugly that she can't be seen? Even if she's wearing a mask, I can still tell that she's a great beauty. You bunch of women who covet the boss, don't even think about it. Bastard, who do you think is coveting the boss? We just can't stand to see a vixen seducing our boss. Could it really be Su Yimo? Su Yimo's image was quite good. What a goddess. You and our boss are a good match. Are your dog eyes blind or something? Su Yimo, that woman who faked her death, is a good match for our boss? Stop arguing, stop arguing. You women just admit it. No matter which woman it is, you won't be satisfied. At the Platinum Gold Palace. Getting out of the car, Ningxi looked at the villa in a trance. To be honest, when she left, she never thought that she would come back here one day. Lu Tingxiao noticed that she was in a daze. What's wrong? It's okay. Ningxi shook her head and followed him into the house. Halfway there, his phone rang. It was a call from Jiang Mai. Hey, what's up? Nothing, just a reminder, don't be late tonight. If you make me wait for you again, I'll really get angry. Jiang Mai threatened her on the other end of the phone. Ningxi looked confused. Tonight? What do you mean, don't be late tonight? Ning Xiaoxi, do you want to die? Oh, I remember. You're going to record a game livestream tonight, right? I know. I was just joking with you. I definitely didn't forget. I won't be late. I'm hanging up. Ningxi hung up the phone quickly, looking a little guilty. In actual fact, under the Lord Boss's beauty, she had long forgotten about this matter. Ningxi looked at Lu Tingxiao with a bitter face. Boss, I'm endorsing a game. To promote it, I have to do a game livestream tonight. What should I do? You can use my computer. Chapter 415. Ningxi was stunned. Use your computer? Lu Tingxiao gently rubbed her hair. Don't worry. My computer is of high quality and the internet speed is fast. There won't be any problem. Oh. Looking at the devil's reliable expression and tone, Ningxi blinked her eyes and nodded repeatedly. The devil's computer must be of high quality. As for the internet speed, she had experienced it herself. When she lived here before, her favorite thing was the internet speed here. It was so fast that she could surf the web, watch videos, and play games. I'll take you upstairs. You can try it first. Okay. They talked as they entered the house. Not far away, Steward Yuan was surprised to see them come back together. He lowered his eyes and said respectfully, Young master, you're back. Yes. Hello, Miss Xiaoxi, are you here, as a guest today? Then the old steward looked at Ningxi and asked tentatively, with a trace of excitement in his voice. Hello, Grandpa Steward. I'm here for something. Ningxi answered. I see. The old steward was obviously a little disappointed, but on second thought, it was a good thing that they could get along with each other peacefully. It seemed that young master was in a good mood. He was really scared last time when she made such a big fuss. At this time, Wanwan trotted over excitedly. Miss Xiaoxi, you're back. The unintentional, you're back made Ningxi, who was originally quite calm, feel a myriad of emotions. Alas, none of the devil's subordinates were easy to deal with. Ningxi chuckled. Wanwan, did you miss me? I did. Wanwan murmured with a blush. Then she found that Lu Tingxiao was also here, so she hurriedly bent down to greet him. Young master, you're back. The little girl couldn't hide her expression. It was obvious that Ningxi was much more popular than him. Fortunately, Lu Tingxiao was used to it and was happy to see it, as long as it didn't take up too much of his wife's attention. After Lu Tingxiao and Ningxi entered the house, Wanwan looked at the old steward excitedly. Uncle Yuan, why did Miss Xiaoxi suddenly come here? Is she an eldest young master? Steward Yuan shook his head. Don't make wild guesses. Miss Xiaoxi just wants to talk to young master about something, but I think the atmosphere between them is quite good. There was one more thing he didn't say. He didn't know if it was his illusion, but he always felt that the way Miss Xiaoxi looked at young master was actually very unusual. After greeting Wanwan and the others, Ningxi followed Lu Tingxiao directly upstairs to the study. Lu Tingxiao pressed the power button, pulled out the chair for Ningxi, motioned for her to sit down, and then entered the power on password in front of her. Ningxi didn't have time to avoid it, so she saw Lu Tingxiao's password. Curious, she subconsciously murmured, Oh, why? 712? CKY means lucky. What does 712 mean? It didn't seem to be Lu Tingxiao's birthday, nor was it Xiaobao's birthday. Of course, it wasn't her birthday either. Lu Tingxiao had one arm on the chair behind her, and the other around her as he operated the mouse. Hearing her murmur, he said casually, The number on the password is my lucky day, the day we first met. A cough, cough, cough. After a moment of silence, Ningxi was so shocked that she coughed violently. Thinking about it carefully, it was true. She didn't react at all. Chapter 416. Lu Tingxiao acted as if he had just said something very ordinary. He opened the browser with a normal expression. Download the game. Oh. Right. Ningxi hurried to grab the mouse. In the end, before Lu Tingxiao could move his hand away, she accidentally grabbed his hand and quickly let go. I'm sorry. She got up to apologize, but her head fell into Lu Tingxiao's arms again. Ningxi. Lu Tingxiao rubbed the back of her head. He seemed to have noticed her embarrassment and said gently, I won't bother you anymore. I'm going to the kitchen downstairs. Call me if you have any problems. Ningxi nodded hurriedly. Okay. Seeing the devil close the door and leave, Ningxi finally heaved a sigh of relief. She covered her face and leaned on the desk. Lu Tingxiao, if you do this again, I won't be able to stop myself from pouncing on you, okay? Ningxi finally calmed down. She opened the game website and began to download the app. The internet speed was as fast as ever. In less than 10 minutes, the game was finished. She entered the password, logged into the game, and glanced at her friends list. Jiang Mai was already online. Almost as soon as she entered the game, Jiang Mai sent her a voice invitation. Ningxi picked up the call. You're online so early? Jiang Mai snorted. Do you think I'm like you? Then he asked suspiciously. Why are you so enthusiastic today? You're talking about me? Let's form a team. Let's play 2 rounds to warm up. Okay. Right away. Jiang Mai was immediately energized when he heard that they were going to start the game. He forgot everything else. But the two of them had just started when tragedy struck. Jiang Mai shouted at the top of his lungs. Ningxi. Go. Why are you in a daze? Fuck. Don't go. It's an ambush. Fuck. You're dead. Ning Xiaoxi. Did you forget to take your medicine today? Fuck off. You're the one who forgot to take your medicine. You're so slow. Why didn't you warn me earlier? You're a swordsman. You can't even protect your nanny. How dare you yell at me? Although Ningxi felt guilty, she wasn't lying. Jiang Mai was furious. What the? You're so good at twisting the facts. Ning Xiaoxi, feel your conscience. Are you out of shape today? Hearing Jiang Mai's words, Ningxi choked. The great demon king had unleashed a series of big moves today. Her current level was already extraordinary, okay? Ningxi gritted her teeth. Stop talking nonsense. Again. The second round started, and he still died miserably. Ningxi was furious. She started to argue with Jiang Mai. Jiang Mai, you were bitten by a dog. Rushing forward like that was courting death. I can't save you even if I'm the reincarnation of Hua Tura. I don't want to be a healer anymore. I want to be a swordsman. Bastard. This is a request from the game company, not something I'm willing to do. Moreover, it wasn't a matter of what you played. Although you were better at attacking, you didn't have to play the healer so badly. Tell me honestly what's wrong with you. The more Jiang Mai thought about it, the more he felt that something was wrong. Jiang Jinmao, don't make excuses for me. You're the one who's so stingy. How can you blame me? How could Ningxi admit that she was distracted by Jiang Mai's flirting? She was determined to put the blame on Jiang Mai. Jiang Mai was so angry that he almost spat blood. Ningxi was scolding Jiang Mai. When she looked up, she saw Lu Tingxiao leaning against the doorframe and looking at her. She didn't know when he came. Chapter 417. Ningxi was embarrassed and hurriedly turned off the headset. Ahem, when did you come? Could it be that he had seen the way she scolded him just now? What a sin. Actually, I'm not so irritable or scolding people when I play games. It's just that Jiang Mai sucks today. Ningxi continued to shift the blame to him. Lu Tingxiao smiled. He's cute. Ningxi was a little confused by Lu Tingxiao's sudden words. Ah, what's cute? Lu Tingxiao said, the way you scold people. Ningxi. Devil, are you still human? I'm already seriously injured and you still won't let me go. Dinner is ready. Shall we go down first? Lu Tingxiao asked. Yes, let's eat. She wanted to eat cabbage. They went downstairs. Ningxi saw 3 vegetables and 1 meat dish on the table, as well as a bowl of soup. They looked refreshing and appetizing. And there was really a plate of cabbage. Did the devil do it on purpose? Is it enough? Lu Tingxiao asked worriedly. It's enough, it's definitely enough. To avoid danger, Ningxi quickly picked up a few dishes and began to eat. Slow down. Lu Tingxiao looked at her with a hint of nervousness in his eyes. Ningxi didn't notice it and continued to eat. But as she ate, she found something wrong. Lu Tingxiao. What's wrong? Lu Tingxiao put down his chopsticks and asked. Ningxi took a bite of eggplant and thought about her words. Is your chef in a bad mood today? Lu Tingxiao thought for a while and answered with certainty. No, he's in a good mood today. Ningxi blinked. Then why is his cooking skills a bit abnormal today? Lu Tingxiao's back stiffened, but he still looked calm and expressionless. What do you mean? Ningxi pointed at a plate of braised eggplant. There's obviously too much salt in this eggplant. Then he picked up a piece of winter melon meat with his chopsticks. This dish is overcooked. The meat is burnt, and the tomato scrambled eggs are all tomatoes. I can barely see the eggs. Most importantly, I seem to have forgotten to put salt in the soup. After saying that, he raised his head and looked at Lu Tingxiao. He was about to continue to complain, but he found that Lu Tingxiao's expression was very strange. Ningxi's heart skipped a beat. A thought flashed through her mind, and she revealed an incredulous expression. After a while, she swallowed her saliva and asked weakly, Lu Tingxiao, these dishes, don't tell me you made them? Lu Tingxiao's expression was solemn. He didn't want to admit it, but he didn't want to lie either. After a while he nodded stiffly. Yes. Puff. Ningxi was shocked. You really did it. It's over, it's over. Why didn't you say so earlier? She actually criticized all the dishes personally made by the great demon king as nothing good. Ningxi touched her forehead and hurriedly tried to salvage the situation. Oh, I thought it was made by your chef. Judging from the chef's standards, he must have high standards. I didn't expect it to be made by you, Mr. Boss. May I ask, is this your first time cooking? No, I've practiced a few times before. Lu Tingxiao's expression was still very ugly. As a perfectionist, his first failure was a huge blow to him. Chapter 418. Oh, you've practiced a few times, but you're still a newbie. I'm not praising you on purpose, but it's already amazing for a newbie to be able to do this. Look at this eggplant, it's really fragrant. Although I added a little more salt, it's definitely a beauty. And this winter melon slices, the meat slices, are just a little overcooked. Actually, I like to eat older ones. And this tomato scrambled egg. Because I found the eggshell in the egg, I had to remove most of the egg, Lu Tingxiao said. Ningxi choked and continued to praise him with difficulty. Oh, no wonder. This means that you're very serious when you cook. Actually, a little eggshell isn't a problem at all. When I first started cooking, as long as there are eggs, they'll definitely have shells. And this soup, it's better if it's bland. Most importantly, this cabbage. It's really well done. It's even better than what I make myself. Ningxi's mouth was almost dry from her praises. Lu Tingxiao's expression finally softened a little. Yeah, I've practiced this for a long time. If Ningxi went to the kitchen now, she would see a bin full of failed cabbages. The success of this dish was built on the corpses of countless cabbages. It's really not bad. You'll get better with more practice. Seeing that Lu Tingxiao's expression had softened, Ningxi continued to coax him. Lu Tingxiao looked at her seriously. I will, until you're completely satisfied. I didn't mean that. What did he mean by until she was satisfied? Moreover, she really wanted to say that it was enough to have one person in the family who could cook. He didn't need to learn at all. However, a person like Lu Tingxiao actually cooked for her. His lethality was off the charts. Ningxi's HP bar was instantly emptied. Even though her HP bar was emptied, she couldn't bear to see the Demon King disappointed. She wanted to lose weight, but in the end, she decisively swept away all the dishes and even ate 2 big bowls of rice. Looking at all the dishes, Lu Tingxiao's sullen face finally showed a trace of a smile. Ningxi touched his round belly and sighed silently. Being able to make a beauty smile, it was worth it even if he stuffed himself to death. When will your live broadcast start? Lu Tingxiao asked. Ningxi looked at the time. There's still an hour left. I'm going to practice a few games before I start. After all, I'm afraid I won't be used to the feel of the computer. Okay, then I'll go read the script. All right, thank you for your hard work, Sir Boss. Thus the two of them split up. Ningxi returned to the computer. Perhaps it was because she was teased to the critical point that she calmed down. In the next few rounds, Ningxi finally returned to her normal level. You've finally recovered. Otherwise, you'd be cursed to death by the fans when we officially start. Ning Xiaoxi, are you hungry because you haven't eaten yet? Just think of it as me being hungry. Soon an hour had passed. At 8 o'clock sharp, the live broadcast officially began. Ningxi was greeting the players and fans when her phone rang. It was a message from Jiang Mai. He was connected to the microphone. Why did he have to send a message? Ningxi clicked it open. Dirty Demon King, fuck. Ningxi, why are you with my uncle? Ningxi was stunned. She told the fan that she would reply to the message, and then quickly replied to him. Chapter 419. Tang Xiaoxi, how did you know? Dirty Demon King. Of course I can recognize my uncle's study. Tang Xiaoxi, the problem is there is only a wall behind me, okay? Dirty Demon King. Just tell me if it is true. Tang Xiaoxi, yes. But it's a long story. I'll tell you later. Pay attention. The game is about to start. Ningxi put away her phone and focused on the live broadcast. While she was texting with Jiang Mai, there were already countless comments on the live broadcast. Ningxi is so beautiful. Are you wearing makeup today? Cici, how are you? Did you play well? I'm playing this game too. I'm so happy. I thought my goddess's room was pink. It turned out to be a metallic color. Cool. Ningxi glanced at them and replied to them while playing the game. Yes, I didn't go out, so I didn't bother to put on makeup. You'll see how good I am later. As for the room, this is not my room. I had something to do today, so I couldn't get home in time, so I borrowed the staff's room. Ningxi didn't mention the room of her friend, because it was obviously a male's room. If she said it was a friend, she would definitely be questioned. Sure enough, after she mentioned the staff, no one cared about this problem anymore. After waiting for a while, she finally entered the game. Ningxi had almost recovered. She was ready to show off her skills, but she never expected that Jiang Mai would make trouble again. This time, it was his turn to be out of shape. Not only that, he was even worse than the previous games when she was out of shape. Ningxi almost scolded him, but fortunately, she remembered that she was in the live broadcast. She could only hold it in and whispered, "Senior Jiang, slow down. I can't keep up. I can't heal you. Jiang Mai, are you in a hurry to reincarnate? Stop right there. Senior Jiang, you have to protect me. If the healer dies, everyone will be in danger. Damn it. Are you a pig? Don't you understand human language? Senior Jiang, be careful. There are 3 people in front of us. We can't beat them. Let's go. Damn it. Hurry up and run. Don't drag me with you if you want to die." After one round, Ningxi was mentally and physically exhausted. As expected, she lost the game. Everyone in the live broadcast was full of complaints. Previously, after seeing her and Jiang Mai's battle records, the game company had praised them very much. Now that the gap was so big, it was no wonder that the players were scolding them. Of course, it was fortunate that Jiang Mai's fans were tough enough to suppress the scolding in no time. Troll dogs get lost. We're here to see a handsome guy, not a professional match. Who cares if he's good or not? I'm watching Mu Ye's face roll off the keyboard too. Go, brother Mu Ye. I'll give you a yacht. Although Jiang Mai's fans didn't care, Ningxi still secretly called Jiang Mai during the intermission to prevent herself from being angered to death. Big brother, are you kidding me? It wasn't easy for me to get online, and now you're going offline again? On the other end of the phone, Jiang Mai didn't speak for a long time. After a long while he finally said, "Should I call you First Aunt now?" First Aunt my ass. Jiang Mai, are you suffering from First Aunt's paranoia? I'm doing business, okay? I'm waiting for your uncle to review the script for me. Lu Jingli isn't here. He's going abroad for a business trip tomorrow, so he's only free tonight. Really? Is it fun to lie to you? Don't tell me. You were thinking about this nonsense just now when you were in such a bad state? Chapter 420. Aren't I immersed in the tragedy of being suppressed by you, by a generation? Alright. I'm hanging up. I'll show you how to fly next time. Jiang Mai hung up the phone. Ningxi was speechless. Fortunately, Jiang Mai really returned to his normal level. The 2 of them cooperated well, and won 3 rounds in a row with all kinds of tricks. They even made a very beautiful comeback against the wind. More and more viewers came in later and accidentally broke the record of that live broadcast platform. Beauty 6666666. I thought the advertisement was bullshit. I didn't expect a girl could be so good at games. Don't judge a book by its cover. This beauty is obviously an expert, okay? Why don't you guys take a look at his mouse keys? 1 set is enough to cover my salary for a few months. Ningxi paused for a second and subconsciously glanced at the mouse and keyboard she was using. This thing was black and ugly. How could it be so expensive? Fortunately, she didn't break it by accident. While she was interacting with the audience, the door of the study was knocked 3 times. Lu Tingxiao stood at the door with the script in his hand, signaling her with his eyes to see if she had finished. Ningxi looked at the time, and saw that she had reached the required time. She said goodbye to everyone, and went offline. How did it go? Did it go well? Lu Tingxiao asked. There was a small problem at the beginning, but it went well later. Some audience members said that your mouse keys are very expensive. No wonder it works so well. That's good. Have you finished the script? Ningxi asked hurriedly when she saw the script in his hand. Yeah. Lu Tingxiao walked into the room and sat down on the sofa, looking serious. Ningxi suddenly felt nervous when she saw Lu Tingxiao's expression. Is there something wrong with the script? There's nothing wrong with the theme. Ningxi was just relieved when Lu Tingxiao continued. But I don't recommend you to shoot it. Huh. Why? Ningxi was stunned. Lu Tingxiao frowned and said, there are too many dangerous scenes. Dangerous scenes? Where? Ningxi recalled carefully and remembered that the heroine in the show loved exciting sports. Are you talking about flying cars, bungee jumping, fencing, flying dragons in the sky, or something like that? Actually, those are all things that I'm used to playing with, and most of them won't be used when filming, so there won't be any danger. Ningxi tried her best to convince him. However, Lu Tingxiao seemed to have made up his mind. Ningxi, choose another one. If you don't like the ones Lin Jiji picked out for you, I can prepare more for you. Ningxi's heart sank and her expression changed. I don't want to. I like this one. It must be it. Lu Tingxiao pinched his forehead. Listen to me. Ningxi felt wronged. Lu Tingxiao, why can't you believe me? Ningxi, it's not that I don't trust you. I invited you here, so I have to be responsible for your safety. This is my bottom line. Lu Tingxiao's tone left no room for negotiation. Fuck. It had actually risen to such a serious level. Was this script destined to have no fate with her? Ningxi had never expected that after working so hard for so long, this would be the result. Actually, those scenes weren't a problem for her at all, but looking at Lu Tingxiao's expression, it was impossible for him to agree. What should she do? Thinking of the script that had ignited her passion, Ningxi couldn't give up, so she decided to give it a try. Damn it, she had always been seduced by the devil. Now it was her turn to do it. Chapter 421. Ningxi took a deep breath. Within a breath, the expression on her face and the state of her body changed instantly. She lowered her eyes and head, standing in front of Lu Tingxiao, motionless and silent. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She counted down to 10 seconds in her heart. During this time, Lu Tingxiao looked at the girl's depressed look. He couldn't bear to see her like this, but he still maintained a cold expression and didn't waver. In the next second, when Ningxi raised her head again, her eyes were already red and wet. Tears trembled and rolled down her cheeks, but they didn't fall. At the same time, the girl's voice became hoarse and soft. She cautiously walked up to Lu Tingxiao, who had a determined look on his face. She leaned closer, stretched out 2 fingers, and gently tugged at his sleeve. Lu Tingxiao, can't I? Lu Tingxiao's frozen face cracked in an instant, but he still kept his mouth shut. No, Ningxi, I can promise you anything, but not this one. The next second, Ningxi's tears fell, and she sounded even more pitiful. Lu Tingxiao, I'm begging you. I really like this script. I promise I'll keep myself safe, okay? Lu Tingxiao. Okay. Ningxi. Aye. Okay. After all, she was going to deal with the devil, so she had designed a series of interlocking plots. She had only used 10% of her skill. She hadn't even started to use her honey trap. That was it. It was like killing a big boss with a beginner's skill. There was a bug in the system. Ningxi froze for a long time before she reacted. She was so excited that she almost jumped up. Boss. You agreed? You really agreed? Lu Tingxiao's face stiffened. He seemed to have just realized what he had just said. Then he pinched between his eyebrows and looked helpless. Can I take it back? Ningxi was anxious. Of course not. A gentleman's word cannot be taken back. You if you take it back. I'll cry until I faint here. Lu Tingxiao sighed. All right, I won't take it back. In fact, the moment her tears fell, he already knew that he was destined to compromise, so there was no need to struggle. Even though he knew that she might be pretending, he still didn't have the slightest resistance. He could only watch as his rationality crumbled. Ningxi's only regret at the moment was that she could not rush up and give Lu Tingxiao a super big blow. She cheered excitedly. Oh, boss, you're the best. To have a leader like you, It's a blessing from my last life, no 10 lifetimes. My admiration for you is as high as the mountains, as high as the rivers, as high as... Lu Tingxiao smiled and interrupted her helplessly. All right, you don't have to suck up to me. Now that you've passed my test, if you fail the audition, I won't open the back door for you, understand? Audition failed. How could this be? It's fine as long as you agree. I've already killed the big boss. How could I not beat those small monsters? Ningxi said confidently, looking at the girl's spirited expression. The last bit of worry in Lu Tingxiao's heart dissipated. Forget it. At most, he would send someone to keep a closer eye on the filming crew. She was not a little bird in a greenhouse. Why should he use love to restrict her? Chapter 422. The next morning, at the entrance of the Platinum Palace, in front of a black Maybach, Cheng Feng and 4 bodyguards were on standby. One of the bodyguards, who was the tallest and looked more honest, could not help but ask Cheng Feng, "Assistant Cheng, why did the boss go to Country X this time? Furthermore, he went to a chaotic place like Philadelphia to inspect? Can't he send someone else? Is that processing plant really that important?" Thinking of the purpose of this trip, Cheng Feng's eyes flashed. He then glanced at the big guy. If you don't have enough brains, don't think about it all day. Can you guess the boss's thoughts? Just follow orders. The big guy scratched his head, feeling that what Cheng Feng said made sense. Oh, got it. Thank you, Assistant Cheng. As the two of them were talking, a skinny bodyguard in front of the car suddenly cursed in a low voice and walked up to Cheng Feng as if he could not bear it any longer. No, I can't take it anymore. I'm going to find the boss and get him to take back the order. Cheng Feng frowned as he looked at the young man who spoke. What order? The young man who spoke was called Shi Xiao. He had the best skills and the highest status among the bodyguards. It could be said that he was one of Lu Tingxiao's most trusted people. If it was an order for him, then it must be the most important thing. Shi Xiao had always been obedient to Lu Tingxiao. What kind of order was it this time that he actually had the thought of disobeying it? Shi Xiao lit a cigarette with an unhappy expression. Last night, in the middle of the night, I suddenly received a call from the boss. I thought it was something big, but it turned out that he wanted me to go to a film crew to be responsible for the safety of a woman. Damn it, I've been in danger for more than 10 years of special training. Could it be that it was to protect a stinky woman? Shi Xiao, shut up. Do you not want to live anymore? Cheng Feng looked nervously in the direction of the door. If the boss hears you, just wait for your death. Shi Xiao had an indignant expression. I really don't understand. Other than being a little beautiful, what's so special about that woman that the boss is so infatuated with? Cheng Feng knew that these people brandished knives and guns all day long. Their brains were a little stiff, so he could only patiently say, Shi Xiao, listen to my advice. Don't say these words again, and obediently listen to my orders. Shi Xiao had a humiliated expression and waved his hand impatiently. I can do other orders, but I can't do this. I don't care. In any case, I will never protect an actress who only knows how to flirt. As soon as he finished speaking, Lu Tingxiao slowly walked out of the house in a black suit. Shi Xiao immediately rushed forward. Boss, I have something to ask you. Cheng Feng didn't even have time to stop him. He could only hold his forehead and pray for his own good fortune. Lu Tingxiao glanced at his subordinate coldly. Speak. In that instant, Lu Tingxiao's icy gaze made Shi Xiao want to retreat. However, the humiliation in his heart made him say, I couldn't obey your orders last night. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone broke out in cold sweat for Shi Xiao. Just when they thought that their boss would fly into a rage, Lu Tingxiao did not say anything. Instead, he turned to look at the big guy behind Shi Xiao and said, Xiongji, you take Shi Xiao's place. Xiongji was stunned for a moment. He scratched his head and obeyed. Yes, boss. Seeing that the matter had been resolved, Cheng Feng hurried over to help Lu Tingxiao open the car door. After Lu Tingxiao got on the car, Cheng Feng patted the big bodyguard's shoulder and could not help but sigh. Sigh, as expected, a fool has a fool's fortune. That brat Shi Xiao, If the heavens knew that the boss had given him such an important task of protecting the lady boss and he had pushed it away, who knew if he would regret it to the point of vomiting blood? You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.